Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero um manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio. E estamos, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? It's been a while. Here we are, another night, another podcast. It's been quite a bit, and I have to apologize. There's a lot of going on in terms of personal life, trips to Portugal. Dave and I were in Portugal, and there was other things. There was Thanksgiving. There was this, and there was that. Sick with a little bit of a cold, but here we are. For another podcast, and thank you guys for joining us. With me as always, Cristiano Oliveira. And what's going on, my friend?
Mafredinho, what's going on, man? I'm glad you had this little intro because I just finally realized that the sound was coming from my computer, not my headphones, so I was able to change it in time. What's going on? Welcome back, guys. Dave, Alfredo, you guys are gallivanting throughout the world while I'm over here in dirty Jersey in this cold-ass weather. But glad to be back here on a positive note. It's always good to be back on a positive note. You know, positive Cristiano might be back, Dave. Might be making an appearance again.
So, we gotta take a month's break, and then the positive Cristiano comes out. We gotta take these more often.
Because I miss it. But that'll last about like 10-15 minutes until somebody says
something triggers your memory, and then it's back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. And before we get any further, I just want to give a big shout out, I should say, to Hugo and his family. Hugo, he likes to come on here and comment and stir up trouble all the time. And so, grande abraço, bro. It's been tough for him. He lost his dad, and so just want to send Hugo a lot of força and a big hug for him. So, carrega Benfica, bro. He loves Benfica as much as anybody I know. So.
Another Benfiquista no quarto anel. Yeah.
No.
Yep. Now it's Dave. How you been, Dave?
Good. Quick little boot across the pond. Never long enough, but good to be back and good to experience the derby live in person. My first one, Sporting or Benfica Sporting. So.
Oh, nice.
Got that one underneath my belt there.
You went to that, Dave?
I went to that one, yeah.
Wait, and he didn't call me for tickets? What a shocker. That's good.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That while I was there Thanksgiving week. So during that week, Benfica played Ajax. So they were away. And then they played Nacional, which was also away. So that was during the time I was there. So I didn't really get a chance to.
You should have gone to Amsterdam, bro. Go through a little tour of the red light district. You know what I mean? Smoke some of that good stuff to make you feel good. You know what I mean? Would have been one of those great trips, and you would have gotten a win on top of it. First win of the 2026 Champions League campaign, or do the qualifiers count? I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have to go to Amsterdam anymore to smoke that good shit. So
I don't know nothing about that. I never smoked, but the red light district though, I've ran plenty of red lights. I've never just been to the district. That's
That was. I mean, So just to, and we won't bore anybody with all the details. But last time we were here was right before the Leverkusen game, and of course we all know what happened with that game. We lost Leverkusen 1-0 or
Alfredo, if we would have just waited a couple more weeks, we could have said, man, that was last year. Almost
right.
By the way, real quick, Carlos Amada says sightings of positive Chris is as elusive as Bigfoot.
That's right.
Something like that.
That's all right. You got grainy footage of positive Cristiano somewhere in the woods.
I'll give you some positivity to it.
So the Leverkusen lost. Then we had the Casa Pia 2-2 at at home. We let ourselves tie in the last minutes of the game. Then what we had the Atletico game for the Taça de Portugal. Then Ajax with our first win of the Champions League, as Chris mentioned already. Then we had that win at Nacional that we were losing for a large part of the game, and then we turned it around at the end. And then we just had the Sporting game this weekend, and there's a lot of people talking about how the team seemed different in Amsterdam, and the team was back, and Mourinho won the team, and there's all these. I kind of I praise and I give a lot of credit to people that after everything that's going on with this team this year and the inconsistencies, and you never know which team is going to show up. Some of what Mourinho does as well. There's people that are still very hopeful in terms of how the season is going to turn out.
Hope is the last thing to go, my friend.
Yeah, I know, but for me, it's just I've seen this movie way too many times, and it's like season after season. The past seasons have just been suffering and suffering after that last championship with Roger Schmidt. But here we are, off the heels of a win against Napoli. We never thought that we were going to be winning this game. And we always felt that, with the lack of points in those first games in the Champions League, that we wouldn't really have a chance, as our opposition would just get harder and harder with Napoli, Juventus, and Real Madrid as the last 3 games, and now 2 games. But yeah, Benfica pulled it off today. But before that, we're just gonna riff, man. We're just gonna riff tonight. We're gonna talk about the Sporting game
Let's
first.
get some questions from the Freddies, man. Let's go. Get it. Let's send them our way. Dave is barely. I told Dave, get ready to talk for the podcast, and now he's over there. He's in the red light district. If you guys see him on,
He's a Benfica district. He's in the Benfica district.
He's got green on his collar. I don't know about Dave. I don't know.
True. Not a good. Should have taken this off here. Good shout out. Good point.
Yeah. So the Sporting game, we'll get a little bit into the Sporting game. Benfica played Sporting with really not a lot of room to maneuver in this game, and Benfica played with Trubin, Derich, Antonio Silva, Otamendi, and Dal across the back, Richard Rios, Barrenechea, and Barreiro in the middle, Auschnes and Sudakov on the wings, and Pavlidis up top. A game that Benfica knew that they had to win, but Sporting really started much better, and within the first 10 minutes, could have easily been 2-0 for Sporting. It was 1-0. Benfica was able to crawl one back, and then after the 20th minute in the first half, Benfica kind of took the reins. And
you're just gonna glide over.
I don't
That's the end of the
much.
positive Cristiano.
I don't remember much.
Dave, he's just gonna.
Chris, feel free to interrupt me and make any comments on the game, on the games, I should say.
I do that even when you tell me not to.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Well, come on, he's just gonna glide right over the fact that we Trubin gave a killer ball to Barrigache, and then Barrigache, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I mean, that was a comedy of errors. A team at the highest of levels committing those types of errors, giving away, and like Jose Mourinho said in his post-game press conference, that was an own goal. I mean, that was half a goal for us. And then some way, somehow, Sporting gets the ball. As I said, they pass it to Pot, and Pot passes it. That wasn't a shot. That was a pass to Trubin, and Trubin had butterfingers right through his head. I don't understand what the hell Benfica is doing.
Yeah.
And whatever happened to the old school football, right? When we talk about it here on the podcast, when in doubt, kick it out. Whatever happened to that philosophy?
Yeah.
We did see that today. I got to give him credit. I think Mourinho today, you saw Benfica kicking the ball up the field a lot more, and goal kicks, and even the goalkeeper punting the ball up the field and stuff like that. It seemed like they had to get that hard lesson. But yeah, you can't just talk about Benfica Sporting and get over that. Not even talk about that one situation. Dave, what do you think about that play?
The thing is that's the situation we're talking about. But even before that goal, there was another one, or if not 2 situations where they were getting a little bit too cute passing the ball back there, and they almost could have gotten burned again with another goal. But yeah, being in the stadium, there are big groans coming from the crowd, if putting it nicely there, because that shit you see on Sunday league with the boys. But
Yeah.
and I think Mourinho even said in the flash that they spent all week training on how to play the ball from the back and what not to do, and that exact play is what they were taught not to do, and it still ended up happening. So, but you know what? Like, how many times do we see Benfica in these big matches always, I don't know if it's coming out
Shoot ourselves
flat,
in the foot.
or they almost need to get slapped out first and get punched in the face before they wake up and then start playing their own game. Because once again, we saw that in this match against Sporting. Okay, we go down 1-0 quickly, but then you know what? Give the team credit. Then they started opening up and really started to bring it to Sporting as that half
Yeah.
progressed. But it's always the same thing that they always need to concede or get slapped around first, and then they wake up and start playing their game.
Look,
Well,
Carlos says that, and he's spot on. He says they were nervous Nellies, infantile.
yeah.
And here's the thing: go looking at that game, right? Pre-game, I don't know what the players had to be nervous about. The crowd was into it. It was emotional. You saw right before kickoff, the team and obviously Otamendi run over with the reef and presented to the Diablos Vermelhos. And I started to have flashbacks of when, Benfica had the game with everybody wearing Eusebio on the back of the shirt. And that game, there was no way Benfica was going to lose that game, right? With the atmosphere and everything in the air. And I started having flashbacks, and I said, man, there's no way we're going to lose this game today. Benfica today is going to come here and play for the fans and play for the Obs and play for what was his name? Hugo, I think. No, I forget. What was the guy? Sergio. And I just started to get those the goosebumps, and apparently that was enough for this team, to shit themselves in the pants. And like you said, Borrados, they couldn't figure things out. It took them a while until they got their feet under them. And then I don't even think it was that Benfica got their feet under them and that they started playing well. I just think that Sporting, very surprisingly to me, just sat back. And it's as if they dared Benfica to score. And then Benfica did. Sporting, like, okay, we got the draw. We're good. Sporting just allowed Benfica to have the ball. And both teams did a whole bunch of nothing. Sporting didn't get another shot on goal. From the 25th minute, I believe they finally took one once what's his name? Cristiano got a red card.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just one of those games. Very hard to read, to be honest with you. I didn't
and Carlos brings up a great point, and I was just about to mention that. He says the hardest work Mourinho has had to do was wash away the mental fragility of the collective. And I was going to say that, for as much as you train coming out of the back and you know where your next pass is going to be, if the team lacks consistency or is in a fragile mental state, as we have seen the team, especially with these late game ties that you've now given up 6 points at Stade Luge in the same fashion, I think when you're in a fragile mental state and you don't have that confidence, I think it's very easy to make mistakes. And I think that's exactly what it was with Truben and Barrenechea. The concept was great, but when you lack that confidence and when you lack a little bit of that fast decision making, you could get caught. And I think that's why we went down, and rightly so.
Let me ask you guys a question though, right? If Hugo and I talked about this after the game, right? After Mourinho's press conference, as Dave mentioned, he kept saying that they practice this all week and whatnot. And if that was the case, wouldn't playing Araújo instead of Antonio Silva, who has more difficult with the ball at his feet than Araújo does? Araújo is a much better ball playing center back than he is. Wouldn't that have made more sense to play Araújo? And again, in that one goal had nothing to do with Antonio Silva, but I'm just saying in terms of if you want to play out the back, isn't Araújo a better option?
Yeah, it is. But I don't know. I think that when you think that Araújo is in to stay, Silva is right back in. So he's been kind of flip flopping between the two.
I actually think now. I think going forward, I think Araujo is going to be the option.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I've been thinking every time I see Araujo start. I said, okay, well, he's clearly won the position, because if you want to build out of the back, Araujo is your guy. Um, but certainly Mourinho thinks that he has good options between the two, and the two are interchangeable with whatever he needs to for the game. Um, but yeah, I
Yo,
thought
by the
that
way, big shout out to my boy, to my St. Bernard's goalkeeper, Carlos Abrito. Carlitos, what's up, baby?
nice.
Welcome. He's out in Florida, I think. He lives out there. I don't know if he's in Jersey, but yeah. Big
Yeah.
shout out to Carlos.
So it was and I think that, and we've been complaining about this. I think that if Benfica has a little bit more of firepower, or even the game against Sporting, and I understand um, why Araújo, or actually why Barreiro was in the lineup, right? Because you wanted to condition Sporting's transition from the back, or build up from the back. He was on top of Inacio, he was on top of Parenechea, and Rios matched up with both Ullman and Morita. So we were able to condition the way Sporting was building out, especially through that middle. And I get that, but at some point, my biggest criticism of Mourinho is that you have the upper hand, you carry the momentum into the second half. In the second half, you still have the momentum where you're pushing Sporting back. At what point do you say, I got to risk more because I got to come out with 3 points here? And whether it's Prestiani, whether it's Sheldrup, that offer a little bit more creativity on the wings to really try something with Sporting. I just didn't understand why Prestiani came in so late in that game. And I just thought that Mourinho lacked a little bit of balls. He could have been a little bit more courageous in the Sporting game, understanding that the momentum was up Benfica's side, and understanding that we could have done some real damage as we had him pushed against the ropes.
I'll
I
explain
just
to you
didn't
why.
understand.
I think it's very simple. I think Benfica going into the game, they would have signed up for that 1 point, because at the very least, they had to come away with the same point disadvantage that they had going into that game, because you have to stay close to second place, because first place, unless you won the game again going into the game, Sporting was a team coming in on a high note. Sporting had been playing a lot better than Benfica. Benfica had been struggling. That being said, I think they were cautious, and then Sporting allowed them to have the ball, but nothing really happened in that game. And the pressure of going down potentially 9 points to Porto and then 6 to Sporting in a league, let's keep in mind, that is not going to take away points from the big teams, at least not many of them, right? A very weak Portuguese league. And it just, it's unfathomable how Benfica keeps slipping up, but it's to their own, as Dave said, they shoot themselves in the foot. It's not even credit to the opposition. That being said, I think the pressure of trying to, at the bare minimum, be within 3 points and keep this close, going into January, being able to bring in 3 to 4 players and reinforce yourself, and then being able to attack second place. Because at this point, I'm not even sure first place is the target. And I know some of you guys are going to criticize me, but let's keep in mind that in Portugal today, first place gets automatic qualification in the Champions League, and then second place goes into the playoffs, as we saw Benfica this past summer doing and beating Fenerbahce, Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce. But at the end of the day, the goal is to get that second league champions spot. It's kind of like in the EPL, right? Top four, except in Portugal, it's top two. And whatever team comes in third place, I should say, the gap between them and the top 2 teams is going to be ginormous. And I think the battle and what everyone wants at the end of the day is to at least get that second place spot. And I think Benfica looked at the game and said, look, man, look, we can't do any worse than a draw. And I just think Sporting, by doing a whole bunch of nothing, allowed us to think or dream bigger. But at the end of the day, we weren't really causing much. We had 2 scoring opportunities, right? And one of them was a shot by Rios that went wide, and the other one was the header by Rios across the goal that they deflected right off of Barreiro's head. We didn't create much.
No, and we're not creating, and also the little chances that we're creating, we don't have that killer guy that's going to make a goal or convert a half a chance into a goal, and I think that's been one of our biggest things. I mean, even today, you had a couple opportunities. One with Ivanovic right in front of the keeper, and he just hit it right at the keeper. And it's just it's something that we've been missing all season. In the past couple seasons, is that guy that could put a ball away.
And not just that, we need though. What now all of a sudden has become a term in Portugal, which is criativos. We need playmakers. We need guys that are able to decide on their own, right? And we've we've criticized Rafa over the years, and a little bit of Luke Bacchio at the beginning of this year as well, before he got hurt. Which is these guys do everything right until they get into the box, and then no tem qualidad. And you're looking at this game, you had Ausnes that does not have that. You have Barreiro who tries his little heart and actually scores more goals than what we give him credit for, right? The guy seems like to be in a crucial spot all the time. If he had more quality, he wouldn't be at Benfica, because the guy's always at the right place at the right time. And it's just a team that lacks quality. Pavlidis, did he play against Sporting, Dave? I don't recall seeing him on the field.
He was there.
Sudakov did a bunch of nothing. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you need guys on the wings, up top, that are able to hold on to the ball, that are able to take on a player. And not a single player on this team. Well, I shouldn't say single player. The only player that was doing it was Dedic, and even he didn't have the greatest of games. And it just, Benfica lacks that. They lack those creative players, guys that are able to take players one-on-one and create, and whether it's create for themselves or assist, but nothing comes easy to Benfica. Pavlidis, like I said, he was non-existent. And then you bring in Ivanovic, which is like a cone on the field. So,
we've spoken about the quality of this squad many times, especially Chris has been quite adamant in terms of letting everybody know what he thinks of the quality of the squad. But certainly, I don't think we create enough, and the chances that we create, people can't just put them away. And Barreiro just runs all over the field, and he finds himself in final third and in position to grab goals, and he's not that guy. He's not a finisher.
But I'm still without knowing.
Puts himself in a position.
No, but not that. I believe, at the risk of being wrong, but I think I'm right. He's probably the second leading goal scorer on the team. No, Dave? He's got to be.
Look that up, Dave.
Nobody else scores goals on this team.
You might be right with.
I'm telling you,
he's up there. He's definitely up there.
No, he's going to be second. I'm willing to risk he's second on the team in most goals. I'm telling you.
Well, you got that. He grabbed a brace that one game.
I'm telling you, he's going to be second.
He scored another one today.
He's tied with second, because Pavlidis has 16, and then there's 5 guys with 2 goals each. Arsnes, Barreiro, Dal, Rios.
Barreiro only has 2 goals.
Yeah,
I thought he had at least 4.
That's Barreiro has more goals, dude.
You sure about that? Because 0-0 showing 2 goals.
No, dude.
He got one today.
He had a brace on that one game. Let's see. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Internet in Canada.
No.
Leandro Barreiro.
I'm looking that up right now.
He's only scored against Ajax and Napoli.
No, Dave. He scored domestically, dude.
I don't know, Fred. You might be thinking.
What season? Last year he scored that hat trick.
Was that last season?
The hat trick was last season, bro.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, look, I just came up with something that's taking us 10 minutes to fill. I could have sworn he had more. I thought when I say more, I mean 4, right? I wasn't talking about 10, but I meant 4. And I don't even remember a guy scoring 2 goals.
You're right. He only has 2 goals this season.
Well, at the end of the day, I'm not wrong. He's second, right? Tied for second. He's second.
Yeah.
So I was right.
But I mean, 2 goals and tied for second. I mean, that's not.
That just goes to show how
the lack of creativity and the lack of quality. That's exact. And think about the breakaways. Today's game. Guys, the opportunities that we just waste. Go look at the game against Chelsea in the Champions League, right? Luka Bacchio alone had 12 breakaways, hit the post another 10 times. We just can't score.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
just
know
can't.
why.
You're right.
We're horrendous when it comes to scoring. And then when you have these youngsters come in, right, who sometimes the moment looks too big for them, and credit to Prestiani for doing what he did at Nacional, and then same thing with what's his name, Sheldrup.
Yeah,
But those are rare moments, guys. I
yeah.
mean, think about it. When's the last time you saw Prestiani playing? You're like, oh man, my man actually affected today's game. Hasn't been. And so when you're sitting here, Alfredo, and I just think I don't want to whatever. I don't like it, right? I'm not trying. Instead of putting it in other words, I don't like when you're, Mourinho. I mean, off of one performance, now we're ready to put Prestiani up there. Now, the one thing Prestiani should get credit for as well. Let's not forget, my man did something that we've been calling for on this podcast for years. He stopped the counterattack. If we did that in the Taça Portugal, we would have won the game. And there's multiple other games where over the last 2-3 seasons, had we just committed a foul, red card or not, we would have won those games. And credit to him, he did I don't think he intended to get a red. He just wanted to, cortar a counterattack. That's exactly what he did. So credit to the kid. He didn't really have much time on the field to affect the game in any other ways. But I don't know if the confidence is totally there, and especially a game against Sporting that Cristiani is going to come in and affect the game. The options that Jose Mourinho has, let's call a spade a spade. They're not good. And Carlos, I apologize. Negative Cristiano's coming out once again, but bro, this team is ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then
just make it to January. Just can't lose any more points, and just make it to January, and hopefully you can open the market. I know.
Mourinho doesn't have much confidence on the options that he has on the bench, and there's a lot of young kids.
I don't even think he has confidence on the options he has starting, but that's just
yeah. But it's like Cristiano said, we've been hollering here for somebody to make a foul. Make a foul and stop the counter or stop a transition that's going to leave us in a bad spot. And Prestiani did that. I mean, I saw that. And I mean, I wasn't bothered by it at all. No. I was like, good on him.
I know myself and a couple of others in the stadium were applauding the foul, because just Sporting alone, there's been at least the last 3 games we've faced. Chris mentioned the Taça, and then last year at the Estadio de Luz with Gyökeres too, made the same move, and Sporting gets their first goal. So it's like, about time that the team learned, right?
Turned, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So I mean, red card sure made that the last 7 minutes or whatever a little bit more tense, and Sporting actually decided to play and apply pressure afterwards. But 10 out of 10 times I make that same foul again, and at least stop the counterattack.
But look, to close up the Sporting game and get to the main course, right?
Yeah, let me ask you guys one last question before we go to the main course, right? 8 points from Porto, 6 points from Sporting.
3, man.
3 points from
Sporting. We tied, bro. We didn't lose.
I thought it was okay. Is the championship over for us?
I'll be negative. I think it is, because we would have to be perfect along the way, and we would still need our opponents to drop some points. And I'm just not confident in ourselves that we're not dropping any more points along the way. So I'll be the negative one here and say I think it's sad that it's not even Christmas and we're already talking about the season being over. But truth of the matter is, the way that the team's been playing, and there's that big gap already. I don't see us overcoming it.
Look, while I agree with Dave, right, in the comments you just made, as I said before about our opponents, their competition is our competition. It's still the same whack-ass teams in the Portuguese league. Mourinho is a guy that knows how to win games, pretty or not. At the end of the day, it's 3 points in the basket, and that's all that matters. I'm worried about the Braga game, but if Benfica is able to stay within 3 and hopefully pick up points between now and then, right? I believe there's 3 games before the end of this month. And then the transfer window opens January 1st. I gotta wait and see what Mourinho brings in, and it's the Portuguese league. Benfica could go on a run. the other teams. I mean, let's be honest. Porto hasn't been lighting anybody up lately.
Yeah, but they're very consistent, and
That's
they've
fine.
only given up 2 goals all season.
Three. But that's fine. But either way, if you don't play well, it's going to cost you at some point.
Yeah.
Okay? Every team goes through their ups and downs, and I think Benfica just has to stay close. And at the end of the day, here's what I was going to say because I forgot. Benfica will never admit that the Campeonato is not their objective anymore,
Of
right?
course not.
But as I stated before, second place is all. It's kind of like the least, right, of the evils, right? The least worst one, which is all right. We're not going to win the Campeonato, but we have to finish the second place. And so I'm not going to totally discount them from the Campeonato because we have seen in the past 4 or 5 years, we've seen Benfica overturn an 8-point lead. And then very following seasons, we saw Porto overturn an 8-point lead. So it's been done before and in recent time. So it could happen again. But again, it has to all do with what type of players Benfica is going to bring in. And we'll see what happens.
We talk about the market opening up January 1st, but usually they don't bring in players until the last week of January. So I hope, but hope is one thing, but sometimes the market just dictates that you don't actually buy the players until the towards the end of the market. But I hope we're acting quickly.
Benfica is desperate right now, bro.
Exactly.
Benfica is desperate for options. You know what I mean? They have no wingers. Unless you're going to start playing all these 17-year-olds. You know what I mean? You'll have a great team, in the future in 2037. They'll be phenomenal. But the problem is
be sold by then, Chris.
We need results today.
Okay? Yeah, but think about this, right? And I think that December is an extremely important month for Benfica, right? So we got to go to Moreira de Cónegos to play Moreirense. That's up next, right? That's Sunday. Then we got the Taça de Portugal down Algarve against Farense. Obviously, Farense is in the second tier. But then we got Famalicão at home, which is going to be another difficult game. We go up to Braga to play Braga a week later. And that's how we finish the month of December. So when it's all said and done, at the end of December, if things don't go well, and if this team doesn't find a way to rise above and to pick up some momentum and to get some consistency, at the end of December, you might be dead in the water. And then what do you do? What kind of investment do you make to kind of turn things around? Because
it's all going to be dictated by how far you are from that second place.
Yeah.
That's, at the end of the day, you could drop points, other teams could drop points. And I live in a world that Alfredo Fumasas, my beloved co-host partner for the last freaking century, is over here talking about Famalicão, Dave, and Farense. Put them over those, bro. Those are all fucking teams Benfica should whoop their ass, especially at home. Will they do it or not? I don't. But come on, all of a sudden now we're afraid of everybody. Braga is the one team I said before. Okay.
You lost points to Rio Ave. You lost points to Casa
That was before Benfica. They did say, right, and I think you said, wasn't it you or Carlos? And I don't know. I've read this somewhere. I thought it was you that said by whatever. Benfica could have just won a team or something like that. After that comeback against Nacional, they went against Sporting. Played a lot better than what we thought. They won today. We just spent an hour talking about Sporting and forgetting about the tremendous victory that they had today. That was never under threat for any second of that one game. Benfica is clearly on the up and up, clearly playing much better. So why can't they sustain this? Why can't they keep this?
They can't. The problem is that on the difficult games, the team seems to show up. On games that on paper we're supposed to win, the team struggles.
But it's all right, bro. We got Prestiani. Oh no, he's suspended. But we listen. Those are games that Benfica absolutely has to win. Now, will they? We don't know. But to sit here and talk about, we got Famalicão. Come on.
Famalicão's been doing good, Chris.
So have we.
They play.
As bad as we are, we're still ahead of Famalicão.
All right, let's turn our attention to the Napoli game. Benfica, as most of you guys know, played Napoli today. Trubin was in goal. Dedic, Araújo, Otamendi, Dal across the back. Rios, Barrenechea, Barreiro, Auschnes, Sudakov, and Ivanovic was up front for today's game. Chris, I'll let you take it away because I know you're feeling very positive.
I want you guys. No. You guys talk because I have some. I want you guys to say it So then you could piss me off, and then you're gonna lay it up perfectly for me to just go off.
No, I
Because
got to be honest with you. I had the game
no,
on.
let
And
Dave talk. Let Dave talk, and then because I want
Go
you,
ahead,
because
Dave.
I know you're gonna say it. It's gonna be you that says it, and then it's gonna piss me off, and then I get to perfectly say what I have to say.
Now I'm intrigued. But I'll get it kickstarted here. I thought those two chances between Oshness and Ivan
Embarrassing.
that they both missed. I thought those were gonna come back to
Yeah.
bite us in the ass.
Agreed.
Because you know what did we just spend the last half hour speaking about how this team struggles to score goals, struggles to create chances, and we get those two golden opportunities and we're putting it to the side, or I don't even remember that. It's just blacked out from my memory, but I know that they didn't go in into the back of the net, which both
One
of
he
those-
shoots straight at the goalie, one on one, right? And the other one doesn't even hit the net when the goalie passes it to him. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So right off the bat, I'm thinking this is gonna be a long night here, because if we can't put away those two golden opportunities, Napoli's gonna come back and make us pay. But you know what? Luckily, we've I guess we've struggled and we've suffered enough this season that the grace of God did not let those two golden opportunities come back to bite us in the ass.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought as soon as this match started.
I was thinking the same thing, Dave. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking that I mean,
What Benfica wasn't.
the Champions League is something that you don't get a lot of chances, right? Just because of the caliber of the teams that you play. And when you get the chances, you don't put them away. You got to feel that. Now that's it. You don't put that one away. Now it's just going to come back and bite you in the ass. But I mean, I thought the team was consistent the way they played. Like I said, I had the game in the background and I wasn't paying much attention to the game. But like every now and again, I would peek. And the team seemed confident. The team seemed confident in the build out. The team seemed confident in holding the ball and moving the ball around the pitch. And I never really. I mean, there was moments where Napoli threatened, but I never really had a feeling that that Napoli was just going to overrun us. Chris, your thoughts?
No, you didn't say any. You didn't say. I was hoping. I thought you were heading down that way. But yeah, I mean, look, Benfica had the game under control at all times. Even when you say Napoli threatened, it really was nothing dangerous on Trubin. I don't think Trubin had to make a difficult save the whole game. You talked about the playing out the back and whatnot. I thought Benfica was very smart today. I think Mourinho adjusted and told the boys, look, it's that old school saying, right? As we were growing up and our first coaches, so when in doubt, kick it out. I think Benfica didn't mess around with the ball in the back. When they had to pump it up the field, they did and get rid of the pressure. I just thought that this was probably their best game in a very, very long time. Now, when you saw those two opportunities, as Dave stated before, I can't for the life of me understand how a professional player who is, quote unquote, supposed to be a goal scorer, a striker, a 23 million plus 5 option guy, so it's not relatively cheap, right? Has a one-on-one with the goalie, and he has the whole goal to pick from, and he decides to shoot it straight at the goalie. I can't comprehend that. I think this guy's been nothing but a waste of time, a waste of money. And then Ausnes, actually, to me, that was more egregious with that one miss. Yeah, the whole goal.
I thought it was more.
I thought that was worse. Now, here's where I thought you were going to go. I thought you were going to rave and do what everybody I've seen on Twitter and everybody doing, raving about Ivanovic's game. Boy, a hell of a game.
Well, Manny Villadone says it. You ran his ass off all game.
I never thought. I'm being dead ass here. And Alfredo, you and I talk off air a lot. I never thought I'd live in a time where we're judging a striker for his running rather than squandering the one opportunity he had. I mean, nowadays, strikers are not good because they're able to hold up the ball in the box and create and score goals. No, they're good because they run. Midfielders are good because, they're able to put up with some pressure, but they can't pick out a pass. Defenders are good because they don't defend anymore, but they could pass the ball out the back. It's a crazy freaking time that we live in. And yes, did he put in the shift? Did he do well in that department? Yes, he did. As a hater, I'd be the first one to admit that. But to sit here and applaud this guy and wave the pom-poms that we have a crack, A guy that absolutely squanders a one-on-one with the goalie. What in the fucking spells crack in that? Where do you see a crack in that? I mean, it's about running. Well, the guy presses, phenomenal game. But what does he do with the ball at his feet in the box? Nothing. He shanked it. But it's okay because he ran all day. What the hell are we talking about here, ladies and gentlemen? What are we talking about? And I got to go on Twitter and have everybody freaking gushing over a guy a striker. Like a Rios, I get it. A box to box, I'm with you. We're talking about a striker. The guy has a clear one-on-one with the goalie and shoots it straight at him. Did ass the rest of the game. Did absolutely nothing else with the ball on his feet besides press and run. And we're here raving about a striker that you pay $28 million for because he could press and he could run. What are we talking about?
Chris, Joaquin Gomes says Ivanovic was not on the pitch to score. He was there to attack empty spaces and drag defenders with him.
Oh, okay. 28 million. That's phenomenal. Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, bro, you know what it is?
Pick somebody up from Famalicão for $2 million if you. That's the.
What'd you say,
case.
Alfredo?
There's a point. There's a point to that, right? There's a point that guys are deployed to stretch out defense.
Let me ask you guys a question. And Joaquin Gomes and Alfredo Famasas was going because remember I told you, Dave, he was going to piss me off. See, I thought he was going to go there earlier, right? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you honestly think that Napoli defenders fear this guy and he dragged any of the defenders with him? They let the dude is a sippu, bro. They're like, go ahead. You think these guys feared him? Even when he was on a breakaway, I saw Antonio Conte light up a cigarette. Like, yeah, we're good. Put him over the deals, bro. We're talking about strikers that are paid to score goals. Oh, no, but the guy pressed. Oh, phenomenal. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could get a kid from the B team to press and run all day and have no quality with the ball. We could have done that at a much cheaper rate. We don't have to pay $28 million to get a kid to run around and press all day. You telling me Ivanovic is the only athlete in the world that Benfica could find? Put him over the deals, bro. What are we talking about, man? My God, this is why I don't watch the national. I barely watch soccer now. I watch Benfica because for some crazy reason I can't turn them off. But put him over the deals. We're ranting and raving about garbage. Whatever happened to guys that can control a ball, pick out a pass, lift up his head, juke a dude, score, banger upper 90, whatever. No, those guys, that's like, those are, I don't know. It's like those rare baseball cards you get, Mickey Mantles. I don't know what it is. It's just ass. I mean, I can't believe that this is what we're talking about today. The guy was there to drag. Buongiorno? Buongiorno was dragging him. Come on, put him with the. He didn't drag a single defender with him. They just, I don't even think they paid attention to his ass. They only paid attention when he was pressing them. But that's what we're talking about. A strike. Imagine Jonas, don't score 30 goals a year, brother. We need you to press. That's what we need you to do. You need to press and run around the field because that's what we're going to win. Not the goals. It's the pressing. You know what that is? It's depressing. That's what it is.
Yeah. Joaquin Gomes says, don't forget Ivanovic is only 21 and just came from the Belgium League. I don't like what I've seen so far, but that's today's football.
Joaquin Gomes, let me tell you a little secret about the way I rate players, my man. If by the time you're 17, you ain't got that touch in your foot, you're not going to get it at 21. Okay? You either got it or you don't. He runs all day. Phenomenal. There's a reason why he's got 2 goals. And one of them's a penalty against Tondela that he begged to let him take. And then one was the very first and second touch he did against Nice. He hasn't done shit since. If you recall, you go look at Mourinho doesn't even play him. Mourinho's under pressure. The team is struggling to win games, and he doesn't even come off the bench. I'm shocked he started today. I don't think Mourinho thought he was going to win. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to burn this guy up. and have Ivanovic 100% to go against Moreirense. I mean, put him over the deals, bro.
Look, I think that, Chris, you have your own formed opinion. I think that there's a lot of people that are still holding out hope that Ivanovic is going to become something.
No, I know they are. And those people are the ones that want to shut me up.
Right.
It's okay.
And Chris, tell everybody that you like eating crow.
But I barely ever eat crow. I do love it, but I barely ever do. When am I wrong? And I'm not being an ass. When I tell you a player is good, he's good. When I tell you he's butt. I'm sorry. Besides running, what else does that guy do? You seen the other day they crossed the ball to him and he headed it with the back of his neck. I think it was against Sporting. He comes, right? Is it Sporting or was it Nacional? Might have been
Nacional.
I think it was Nacional. They cross the ball. He turns his back. He closes his eyes and it hits him in the back. And it hit him in that spot, that soft spot. The ball just died there. Like, bro, come on, bro. Put up more of those, bro. That's what we're raving about today. A player ran. So you get paid in millions of euros. The least I could expect from you is effort and to run all day. But that's what we're going to brag about. Yeah. Can't do fuck all with the ball at his feet. But, he sure as hell ran a lot. And it's like, what the hell's happened to soccer that all these beautiful people with their poems and bro, soccer is about the ball on your feet, being able to create, being able to put the ball away when you need to put the ball away. Everything else is just gibberish, bro. Run all. Why the hell didn't Usain Bolt make Manchester United or whatever teams he could run all day? You tell him Usain Bolt today can't press.
Yeah. Manny Villadon says Mourinho can't do shit until he gets the players he wants. So it's chess. Play players with closest profile for his plan today until we get better. I mean, there's a lot of people that you can make that argument, right? Because Mourinho inherited this team, so it's not a team at his image. But one guy that has improved under Mourinho, and a few guys have mentioned here on the chat has been Richard Rios, which he's been a lot more consistent, a lot less erratic, and 2 man of the matches in 2 games in a row. And I think it speaks a lot about, Mourinho figuring out who Richard Rios is and Richard Rios understanding what's asked of him from Mourinho. And I think that kind of leaves him in a spot in having good performances game in and game out. It definitely, contributes to his consistency. Diogo Reis was saying, has Richard Rios unflopped himself?
I never call him a flop. If you guys listen, when all you guys were criticizing him, I was here on the podcast saying, give the guy time. He knows what he's doing. You just have to play him well. And I'm glad you went to Rios because Carlos says something, right? Carlos says, I think the narrative between the critics and the fanboys are both wrong. And here's the thing, right? That narrative. Why is it okay to give a pass to Ivanovic that's done fuck all, okay, since Nice? He's done nothing. And today he had a great game. He did nothing, but he had a great game. Why is it okay to give him time and adaptation and the guys? But everybody wanted to shit on Richard Rios for the last 2.5 months. How come he wasn't warranted that time that Ivanovic was? We just pick and choose who we want? No, it's just one guy doesn't have quality. He can't get on the field. Richard Rios plays because at least he's effective as a box-to-box, in my opinion. As a box-to-box, sometimes you don't even need a ball on your feet to affect the game. And he's done a lot of that. Even he's done it in the negative way when he lost the ball against who the hell did we play? That Casapia, right? That we lost 2-1, right? Wait, Casapia, right? He lost the ball towards the end of the game. So he's affected it negatively or positively. But at the end of the day, midfielders, box-to-box guys, I can understand all that. They're pressuring. They're doing what they're doing to disrupt the game and fouling and hacking. I get all that. But to me, as a striker, as Sport League Benfica, man, you got to be able to know what to do with the ball. And we're raving about, come on, why is one guy afforded the luxury and the other one's not?
Well, I think the biggest thing with Richard Rios is the fact that he came with such a high price tag that people thought Richard Rios was going to dominate.
Rios was $1 million more than Ivanovic. It was $1 million more.
It was 28.
It was 29, I think. 29. The other guy was 28. What's the big difference?
Well, one's a player and one is not.
Well, we'll see. Listen, I'm sitting here week in, week out, and when Ivanovic is on the field, I'm not rooting against him. Listen, I'm like, yeah, make me look stupid. Come on, I'll go on a podcast and like, yeah, you guys are right. Look, I hope that's what I'll be doing here soon. But until now, I haven't seen anything from him. And to come on here and brave about how Benfiquistas, my God, what a play. I saw people calling him a crack. A crack. The guy touched the ball 5 times. That's a crack. I just think we have a very different definition of what a crack is. But nonetheless, let's go back to Benfica. Benfica played a perfect game today. I thought they controlled the game from start to finish. Mourinho had the perfect game plan. If you want to call Ibrahimovic dragging players, fine, whatever. It worked. I think Mourinho today was phenomenal. I think the Italians were shell-shocked. They maybe they didn't expect Benfica to be as good as they were today, because obviously we've seen them in the Champions League and it's not been pretty. But nonetheless, they did what they had to do. It could have been a much easier game, right? Those two opportunities, at least one of those should have gone in, right? Benfica could have been winning 1-0 earlier than that, but then Richard Rios comes through, and even that one, Dave, the ball seemed like it took a million years to trickle over the line. I'm like, what is going? Get in already, right? I thought he was going to kick it out too, because that's just the way the game was. We couldn't capitalize, and so, but yeah, we got the goal, and Benfica just controlled the game. I was really pleased with the way the club played today. Really pleased. I thought this was Mourinho's finest hour at Benfica.
Yeah, and look, if this is the start of a momentum that we need to gather, and look, I'll be disappointed if we don't make it into the next round of the Champions League. Obviously, it's going to be really difficult considering the opposition that we have, considering that that Madrid lost today, and obviously that last game against Benfica is gonna count for them. Contrary to what a lot of people predicted, that Real Madrid will be done by then. They'll play the second.
They're seventh right
spring.
now. They're seventh.
Yeah,
right
they're second. I mean,
they're in the top 8. All they got
right.
to do is stay in the top 8, and then that last game for them means nothing.
Yeah. But it's look. I think it's great. I think it's great that the team is picking up momentum. That you're seeing guys being a little more consistent. That you're seeing Mourinho having better reads. I just felt that Mourinho could have had a little bit more balls against Sporting and really gone for something a little bit more. But again, time and time again, we've seen that Mourinho doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence on the guys on the bench, so he's hesitant to make moves that he feels are going to impact. He'd rather see the game play out. But certainly today is, you're playing against a team that's leading the culture right now, that won the culture last season, and certainly it's something that you have to feel good about with the performance that you had in front of your fans at Stade de Luz today against Napoli. So I hope it's a great omen to see this team play the way they have been, and now there's the game against Praga, as I mentioned. Moreirense, contrary to what Chris believes, is not going to be easy. Famalicão is not going to be easy either. But if you present yourself in the same consistency that you have against the second half against Sporting and now this game against Napoli, I think that you put yourself in a position where you're going to be clear winners. But again, we're talking about Champions League, biggest stage. Players don't need to be motivated to play in the Champions League. And when you get back to the Tugão, where teams defend behind the ball and they know your style a lot more, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But look, I think as Benfiquistas, we all have to hope that that the team builds up from these past couple performances against Sporting and against Napoli. I'm included. I think it's going to be really hard to catch Porto because they've been so consistent. It's so consistent, and they also seem to control games. Even if they're not scoring. I mean, their defense is really good. Allowed 3 goals so far. Sporting has been consistent as well. But look, there's injuries. There's things that happen that teams can slip up. I just don't. I just think that this year's championship seems a lot more consistent for the other two teams. Not Benfica so much, but for the other two teams, it's been very consistent for them. Sporting has a team that's been playing together for a long time. They do struggle on big games, but it's going to be hard because, as Dave mentioned, we have to be perfect, and at the same time, we need for the other two teams to lose points, because at this point, we tied against Porto, we tied against Sporting, and really, those were the 2 games that we could have won points against them, direct rivals. And now we got one more game against Porto and one more game against Sporting, and that's only 3 points that we can gain on them. But I like the way Chris is thinking, and I agree that at this point, second place becomes a priority. And then if you could get to second place, who knows what comes after that? But I think that second place is key for us to make it into the Champions League. And I think that if things are close at the in January. In the championship, I think that there's going to be an investment to continue to push this team to at least get second place, to secure second place. But I think that Sporting has been really consistent so far this season, and Sporting and Porto as well.
Look,
So
Porto to this point has only drawn the one game. Those are the only 2 points they've lost, and it was against Benfica. Do we realistically think that Porto is not going to lose points the rest of the year? They're going to lose points. It's going to happen. Whether they're phenomenal or not, it's going to happen. Now, it's about the way Benfica is able to finish out the year, and the way, not the way, but the players that they sign. I believe Benfica will be bringing in at least 2 wingers, possibly a left back, unless this kid João Neto between now and then convinces everybody.
17 years old, dude. Come on.
Again, I keep telling you this over and over and over. Age is nothing but a number. If you're ready to play, Alfredo
needs a lot of experience, man.
If you're ready to play, you're ready to play. I'll mention Ansu Fati. I'll mention the kid Carl now at Paris Saint-Germain. I'll mention what's his name, Yamal. There's plenty of guys. The Turkish kid at Real Madrid. There's plenty of guys that their quality will speak for themselves. I don't know enough about this kid. I did see Joaquin or somebody on this chat, or Furioso, somebody on this chat said João Neto, the kid's a phenom. I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say I don't know anything about the kid. I didn't watch the Portuguese national team play the U17, so I watched a couple minutes, but it was them just defending against Austria, so I don't really see much of the kid. But if the kid is the goods, like everybody's saying he is, he will force himself onto this field, regardless of what his age is. Okay. And like I said, I don't know if it's enough to deter Benfica from going out and getting a left back or not. But I do think they'll get 2 wingers and possibly a left back and possibly another striker. I believe that's what Benfica will be looking to do here in the January transfer window. You know, depending on the quality of those players and who they are, right? We'll see what happens. To me, right now, I'm just focused on winning the next game and staying as close as possible to Sporting. Hopefully picking up points, right? Because we all want to pick up points. So I don't have to tell you guys that. But just at the very least, stay where we're at now. Don't drop any more points. And then see what we do in January. And I think second half is still long. You know, there's a lot of games to be played.
Yeah.
And we can still do what they have to do.
Chris, let me just say goodbye to our Pema Media friends. You could continue listening to our podcast and the podcast aggregators for now. It's thanks for checking us out, and we'll speak to you soon.
Joaquin says, Futo fumava 2 mais. Exactly. He started playing at 16 years old. And Carlos says, age is absolutely significant. It is for the ones that aren't ready. But when you're ready, guys. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
But there's I mean, the kids that are already at 17, they're exceptional, Chris.
But who's to say he's not exceptional? I mean, Antonio Silva started playing at 18. Do you see an exceptional player there? No. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is that every player is an individual case on its own. And all I'm saying is if this kid is really as good as everybody's saying he is, he will find a way to get himself on the field. That's all now. That's not me saying he will find it. He will find himself on the field. Pay attention, because I don't want none of you guys to throw this at me. I said if he's as good as everyone else is saying that he is, Benfica won't look at the age as Renato Sanchez got on the field. I think he had just turned 18, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't much older than 17. Okay, didn't have the experience that this kid João Neto apparently does. Okay, yeah, Carlos. He says has a lot to do with Carlos. Oh my God, what part of if a player is ready, age don't matter. That's all I'm saying, Carlos. You want to tell me for the majority, age has something to do? I agree with you. But if a player is ready, age is not going to get in his way. I just gave you examples of players playing in European football today that started playing at 16 and 17 years old. They obviously were ready. So if this kid is ready, I don't think Benfica is going to look at him and say, well, he's only 17. He's not playing. If he is ready to play, Benfica will throw him out there. That's it.
Yeah.
Chris, so just on the flip side of that, as we're talking about potential left back enforcements here, what's going on with Obrador? Like, I guess He's not counted for. Have you heard anything?
No, nothing. He's I think in his last appearance with the U21 Spanish national, he scored a goal or whatever. But yeah, it seems like Mourinho doesn't count on him. And I think right now, when you have a player in over the stature, right, a guy who still hasn't really convinced, still is not fully developed, and then they have a kid that's come up through their youth ranks that was just the champion of the world as starting left back with the Portuguese national team, who is not that far off in age. Benfica is going to put all their baskets in that one kid. That's it. And I think if they have a choice between the two and they're very similar, Benfica will choose their own kid as opposed to a kid that just spent $5 million and came outside. To me, it seems like what's his name? Mourinho doesn't rate him, and he's already put in Neto. I know it's very, very few minutes today, but it looks like Benfica is making a concerted effort to put some of these kids that were just crowned world champions on the field and give these kids a little taste of limelight and hopefully get these guys to work even harder to get to the first team.
Yeah. As Joaquin Gomes says, Obrador is out of the picture. Yeah, Mourinho doesn't have any confidence in Obrador at this point. I think he still feels that he's a kid that still needs quite a bit of work before he can even compete with a spot with Dal. And Dal is no barn burner either. I mean, we've all seen that Dal has his limitations, right? So I don't know. Maybe Nets, slots in there and is competition for Dal. Who knows?
If Neto, and I'll repeat it again till the cows come home, if Neto is as good as advertised, he'll find himself on the field. That's all I'm saying. Now, that's not me predicting he is. That's not me predicting he's not. You can tell me it's rare. It's an exception. Why can't he be the rare one? Why can't I'm just saying it happened. Everybody's different. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, Dave, you got any stats so we could move on?
Actually, I don't have
That's
any
great.
stats. So
No worries.
Let's get it going here.
Stats for today. I got very important stat. 2-0.
3 points.
Same exact result against Ajax. And that's 6 points in the tabella. And I mean, hopefully they sustain this. They keep this going. And right now it's on to Moreirense, and I think Benfica just has to focus one game at a time.
Yeah.
Until the transfer window opens, and then reinforce themselves. I say, listen. I think that's the goal. That's the only way to look at it right now. I don't think there's anything else you can say besides that. Game by game, and when January comes, we'll talk. See where we're at, and we'll talk. But I do think they're very interested in doing something. We'll see what happens. How do you guys feel about Rafa returning? I mean, while we're at it,
no, man, no.
I don't have a problem with Rafa.
I mean,
returning.
you
I have with Rafa. That's what I was gonna say. I don't have a problem at all with him returning. The problem is that he left on a free, and now we're gonna pay to bring him back. That's the problem.
That was you didn't want to pay him to stay, but now you're willing to pay $5 million to bring him back.
But look, I
4 more years.
Dave. Oh, here we go. I said I don't want to pay, but Dave, we're desperate right now, guys. I mean, Benfica is different, desperate. And if at the end of the day, gun to your head is like, bro, you could get Rafa, and it's $5 million. I don't want to pay more than that, but I think $5 million. I might be like, all right, whatever, because we're desperate. It's not like it's okay. We're gonna go to this guy. We got plenty of other options. We don't have anything. I mean, you're playing Ausnes in Sport Sudakov, who's a center mid, and now he's playing on the left. Today, he actually had a decent game today. Sporting, he did nothing, but today, he actually had a decent game. It's probably his best game that I've seen at Benfica. But yeah, we don't really have many other options. So it's like, do you want to go the rest of the year with no options or pay $5 million for Rafa? That's what you got to look at.
Yeah. So Benfica's next game is against Moreirense, 6:00 local this Sunday. Moreirense is currently in seventh place. Moreirense had some tailwind earlier in the season. They did really, really well, and they were at the top, and they lost a little bit of steam. But it's still a nice little team. Obviously, they don't have the arguments to compete against the likes of Benfica and Sporting and Porto, obviously. But they're right there, and I think they could give Benfica some issues. But like I said, if Benfica keeps the momentum that they have now generated on both that second half of the Sporting game and now with this Napoli, there should be no reason why Benfica wouldn't be able to go to Moreira de Cónegos and beat Moreirense in a
It's always
calm
tough. Benfica
fashion.
always struggles to go there. Remember a few years ago, Jota came in with the assist to Seferovic at the end. Benfica always struggles. But look, right now, Benfica's on a high. It's on a positive. Benfica's played well. And let's just hope that they build off of it. I like feisty Carlos, by the way. Feisty Carlos is trying to go at me, right? And so he's coming up with, I'm arguing with your initial point that age is a butter number. It's not just a number. It means I can't read the rest. I don't know. It's scrolled down on my screen, right? And then he's telling me you can't move the goalpost. Bro, Carlos, I'm going to say it like this once again. I've been watching soccer for a very long time. I know you're a little bit older than me. You've been watching for longer. But I'm yet to see a case of a player that was ready to play and the club said, nah, man, you're too young. You're not playing. That may happen in baseball. I know, Carlos, you're a baseball guy. I'm a baseball guy. Dave is a baseball guy. They might want to hold you back in the minors so they can have more service time, more years of service, right? I get that. It doesn't happen in soccer. I am yet to see a player that is ready to play at the highest of levels. And the club said, well, yeah, you're too young. Bro.
Rodrigo Mora.
If you're what do you mean? Who said he's too young to play?
He doesn't play.
That's
not because of age. It's because the coach doesn't like him. So. You think it's an age thing, or is it because he doesn't track back? He's an old school player, Alfredo? Which one do you think it is?
But the kid's super talented.
But today's play, he doesn't fit in today's game. Same thing with João Felix and all these. They don't fit in today's game. Those guys don't fit because today is all about, as I was screaming about just a half hour ago, it's all about running. Ivanovic is valued today over a guy like Rodrigo Mora. So Rodrigo Mora is not playing at Porto, not because of his age. As a matter of fact, when he was 17, he was playing. Now he's 18 and he's not playing. It's the opposite. So what I'm saying is that when a player is ready, and I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure you can find me a case here and there. All I'm saying, Wayne Rooney, bro, you're making me go down. There's been a tremendous amount of players that at 15, 16, 17, when they're ready, they play. Not a single coach is going to look at the player. If João Neto is the best option that Benfica has against Moreirense, Mourinho is not going to say, yeah, he's only 17. I'll take the weaker option. I am yet to see a coach take a weaker option, and in particular, based on age. It's not going to happen. That's all I'm saying. Now, I agree that it's rare. Yes. I agree that it doesn't happen a lot. Yes. But if this kid is ready, he will play. I don't think Rui Costa and Mario, whatever his name is, and Jose Mourinho will make it an age thing. That's all, Carlos. That's all I'm saying, buddy.
Yeah.
I never argued that he isn't ready. But nobody's Carlos, I'm not saying he's ready. I don't think Carlos paying attention to me. Maybe that delay on YouTube is getting to him. Carlos, I'm not saying he is ready. I'm saying if he is, they're not gonna look at his age. That's all I'm saying, Carlos. You understand me? Grazie. I love you. Grazie. Yeah.
Grazie mille.
Yeah, look at Dave. Dave married to an Italian. It pays off, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think that there's some excitement or some cautious excitement in terms of what this team can do going forward, especially after the last two. And I keep repeating myself, after the last two games. So we'll see. We're here. We're here to see how this goes. I just think that we've seen this movie way too many times, and
Dave, what's wrong? You brought out the positive Cristiano. I don't know if I've been too positive, but this guy's all negative, bro. What's the matter?
Listen, I've got some this is a team that we have dropped points to recently. They've last 10, we've only got 3 wins and 7 draws against them, and then last 5 away is 1 win, 4 draws. So I know, Chris, you made the point earlier that, these are teams that we should be beating, and you 100% correct. But these are recent stats here that we've dropped points against these types of clubs, and this club in particularly.
Dave, you know what streaks are good for?
To be broken.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Look at the last time that Casapias beat us. Look at the last time Estrela Mother, and it's happened this season, right? Alberca, Tondela, all these games that Benfica struggle, right? Look at the last time that we and look, it is what it is. I think each game is separate from the last game. I think Benfica right now is on a high. I think that comeback against Nacional really gave this team confidence that they could get points as long as they put the effort in until the final whistle. They played okay against Sporting. It wasn't extraordinary, but again, considering the opposition, we in those first 25 minutes, we all thought it was going to be a massacre, right? And then you kind of walked away from that game a little bit disappointment because you felt that you could have gotten the result. You just had a tremendous game today, possibly the best game of the year against Napoli and against very tough competition. And Benfica manhandled them. And like I said before, Benfica was never under pressure for any part of this game. And so if you're not going to go into Moreirense with confidence after this, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I almost feel like if you guys are in the locker room, like, hey, fuck what you just did the last couple of weeks because, 5 years ago, we tied Moreirense. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It sucks. Those are facts that you can't get away from. But all you can control is today. Control going forward. And I think Benfica has everything to go into Moreirense and get a result. It'll be tough because Benfica, as Alfredo mentioned before, he didn't get too much into it. But when teams play with the low block, as I've said multiple times here on this podcast, due to the lack of quality by our wingers and our strikers, it's tough to romper those lines and romper those defenses. And it's tough. And then we don't really take many shots from the outside, and Rios is probably one of the only few, and his accuracy hasn't been very good. But it's going to be tough. But that's what we expect, right? We're Benfiquistas. It's never easy. I just think that right now, I'm positive for the first time in a while, and Benfica has everything to go out there. Now, will they do it? I mean, that's the $1 million question. If I knew, man, I'd bet the house. But I do expect them to go out there and get the result. It's not going to be easy, but Benfica should handle their business.
Chris, what else do you want to talk about before we leave?
What do I want to talk about? I don't know. I want to tell you guys I love you guys. I love the Freddies. Smash the like button. I sit on here today. I wasn't going to talk much. My head was pounding. But Davis forced me into talking because he's not talking much today. So, yeah, man. It's been fun, man. I missed the podcast. It's been fun.
Yeah, me too.
A distraction from the real problems in this world.
All right, y'all. We'll be back next week. We'll recap this Moreirense game. We'll look ahead to Farense.
Now, Carlos is going to make me light a candle and pray that João Neto starts next week. I'm joking.
Maybe for that Tasa game at the end of the month, that'd be a good test for him.
Hey, Manny Villadon trying to give me these guys. Love you too, man. I just said I love my Freddies, and this is what he comes like. He's reminding everybody of whatever. I wasn't wrong though, but
whatever. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for catching up with us, and sorry for the absence. We'll promise that we'll be here on a more consistent level.
Yeah, if Dave stops calling out, you know what I mean? We'll be here more consistent.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you, everybody. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of the week. Take care, everyone.